you understand?
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
People are willing to take the risk. It's sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Friends, the time for mediocrity and broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock. Online at facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Be sure to check out rifreeradio.org. Be sure to check out tonyjones.org. And I once again apologize for I am freaking exhausted this week, but we will always we'll make it through the program. A lot to talk about. We have some in-studio guests. I did a little movie work last week. I was in the Polka King. I spent some time at the maximum security prison. No word of a lie. We'll talk about that in just a bit. And then I went to the sold-out viewing of the Tales of Rocky Point last night, and I was able to kind of squeeze in at the last minute. I was actually interviewed for the movie, but I didn't make the cut, as happens to me all the time. But great film, so we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And Mike Worm in studio. We're going to be talking with him in just a little bit. But before that, let's get back to the music. We're going to hear a double shot from 1031, who hopefully is going to be in studio in just a few weeks' time. We're working on that. We're in negotiations. Yes, heavy negotiations here to be on an internet radio station. They'll be in studio with us in just a few weeks' time. They have a big clip coming out and a bunch of new music coming out. So here's a double shot from 1031, starting with Hands That Feed. You heard it here first on The Tony Jones Show.
Deep inside, do you feel
coming out of 2 from 1031 right here on the Tony Jones Show. We Were Never, the track you just heard / are hearing, and before that I brought you into Hands That Feed. Yes, we're trying to get 1031 into this very studio to be on the Tony Jones Show. Online at TonyJones.org, Facebook.com / the Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Be sure to go to RIFreeRadio.org. Yes, you can be on this very program. Click on the contact page. And before we get to our in-studio guests who have a big show coming up on August 27th at the Middle East in Cambridge. Cambridge, a far cry from West Warwick, where we are right now, 2 polar opposite cities. So I was in the movie Polka King this past week, and starring Jack Black. Now, I'm told that it's going to film in a prison, or it's going to be a prison scene, I should say. So I figure, it's going to be a soundstage somewhere, and it's going to be made up like a prison. We'll have a prison scene. Now, when I say prison scene, get your mind out of the gutter. It was nothing like that. No soap was dropped. But it was actually in maximum security at the ACI. We had to drop our IDs at the door, and I played a prisoner. Now, at first, I was hoping to play a guard, but I was cast as a prisoner. We literally went into a 85 to 90 degrees maximum security prison in full prison garb while the prisoners were in the hole, and we filmed in the yard. Now, we had to hurry up because it was time for the prisoners to have the yard. But all I can think of is here I am with a couple days shave and, a disheveled hair and dressed as a prisoner. All I'm thinking is somehow I get separated from the cast, and they're like, no, come with me. What am I going to say? No, I'm not really a prisoner. I'm just here for the movie. Well, yeah, they're going to buy that.
I got to tell you, with the fresh, 2-day no shave, you are looking rather man pretty. And if you had to drop your ID at the door, that would not be the worst thing you have dropped that day. You could infer whatever references I'm coming through, but you know where I'm going.
Not only did I play a prisoner, I played a basketball-playing prisoner, which you guys should know. I have except for professional wrestling, no sports inclinations whatsoever. I'm like a bull in a friggin' china shop when it comes to anything to do with sports, and I had to play a little b-ball. So I gotta say, Jack Black is just what you would expect Jack Black to be, like the nicest guy. He was shaking hands with the prisoners, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't supposed to be doing, and hanging out with the guards and stuff, but just there was no, I'll be in my trailer, don't look the star directly in the eye. He was just like a regular dude, just like how you would expect Jack Black to act in person is how he was on the film. So I think it's going to be out sometime next year. I don't really know the specifics, but I'm sure we'll talk about it here. And let's get into our in-studio guests. I went a little long on that, but we're pretty excited to have Mike Worm, and we're pretty excited to have Meaghan here. Let's work backwards and talk about the show that's coming up on August 27th, and you could just get as close to that microphone as possible.
Is this close enough?
That's perfect.
I'm Mike. I'm here with Reckless Records, and I brought my friend Meaghan, who's here promoting her CD. Yep. I got the Blank 77s all the way from New Jersey, and the Parasitics from New Jersey that I booked next Saturday, 12 to 5, $10 in advance, $15 at the door at the Middle East upstairs in Cambridge, Mass. It's their only New England show, and it's the first time they played in Boston in 6 years.
Wow. So talk a little bit about, you are the proprietor, like that word, of Reckless Records, and something that we all hold near and dear to our hearts around here is DIY, the DIY mentality, the DIY work ethic. So talk a little bit about Reckless Records and kind of being a DIY label.
As a label I started for my band Bad Movies, I was shopping around trying to find a label to release it on, and no one could get back to me, so I said fuck it and started my own.
That's exactly how I approached Newbury Comics, with my own releases, is saying, oh yeah, we're on a label. They had no reason to know that it was just a label that was out of my bedroom, but
yeah, it's a label out of my basement.
Exactly.
Somehow managed to make it all the way to Oregon.
In the eyes of the world, we were on a label, and therefore we could sell our stuff at Newbury Comics. So talk a little bit about Worm, and now Worm has been around so long that you guys actually have a MySpace page. So if there's any younger folks out there listening, you probably don't even know what that is. But around since 2003, correct?
Yep. Yeah, been all over the country with that band. You know, I've kind of used that band to branch off with other bands and the label. So they're kind of the mothership of everything.
You know, it's awesome when kind of one project spurs different things. We've seen that around here where a band will spur a label or it'll spur a podcast. Or who's the band we had in a few months ago, and the band members also do a podcast together?
I want to see Senior Discount.
Yeah, Senior Discount.
Senior Discount, and also doesn't 30 Silver have a podcast going?
Yep. That is, you know, that is the DIY mentality for
DIY or die. Do it
everybody out
yourself
there.
because no one else is going to help you.
Our friend Johnny Earthquake all turned us on to that back in the day.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's swing back into some music. We're going to hear from Vulgarrity up next. This track is Middle Finger Machine Gun. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show. Fuzzy and Wild, the name of that one, The Ghastly Ones, right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, we heard from Vulgarrity, Middle Finger Machine Gun, the name of that track. Tony Jones here, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Be sure to go to rifreeradio.org and tonyjones.org. Last night I took in the premiere of Tales of Rocky Point, which was a documentary / found footage film by our good friend Jason Mayo. I actually recorded a part for the film. I didn't make the cut, but our good friend Chuckles the Clown was featured throughout the film, and just a bunch of folks that you would know and recognize. And it's funny because I was just lamenting on one of the shows here the other day, talking about the new movie that's coming out that is another found footage film. I was just talking about how much I hated found footage films, and now I watched this found footage documentary the other night, and it was awesome. So I guess I'm kind of going to have to bite my tongue and being premature in disrespecting different genres, but it was very cool to see. You know, of course, if you're a Rhode Islander or a New Englander growing up with Rocky Point, sad to see it in its demise towards the end, but it was cool that they were able to gain access to the grounds, whether they did that legally or illegally. I mean, it looks like it was illegally. I'm assuming it was at least somehow legally, or maybe the statute of limitations are now up because it's, was all filmed and all shown, and seeing the kind of remnants of everything that was there really brought me back to just such a different place. You know, the old cheesy song is "You don't know what you got till it's gone." I mean, it's spending countless summers at Rocky Point. You really never thought of it until it, went bankrupt and was chained up there and just kind of sitting there rotting. And now it's a little public park type of thing. But there was always, it's true, there was always some kind of glimmer of hope where you thought, well, maybe someday something will happen. And of course, unfortunately, it didn't happen, and it's not going to happen. So it's time to move on. But if you check out talesofrockypoint.com, they have DVDs up. If you missed it last night, it did sell out. About 900 people in the house at the Park Cinema, and well worth your time. I'm sure it'll be streaming pretty soon, and well worth your time for. Don't get upset. Don't get scared away by the term documentary, because it's not your typical, 7 years ago documentary. This is fantastic, and it's worth your time. But let's get back to our in-studio guests, again, talking about the big show coming up at the Middle East on August 27th. And with Mike Worm is Meaghan, who has, if I believe correctly, a new CD coming out.
Yes, I just released my EP back in June. It's called Wolf Hour. I recorded it with Panabaquano Studios down in Hanover, Mass. But it's my first record that I made. It's a lot of old folk, kind of crunchy hippie tunes. I'm pretty happy with it. And I got a show coming up at Aeronaut Brewery up in Somerville on September 11th. I'm going to be with my friend Paul Yu playing up there. It's my first brewery show, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to feel right at home surrounded by beer. So
we're getting some real-time feedback here, and Jess wants to know when your album's going to come out, and I guess she's seen you play a few times and thinks you're awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Calls you a modern-day Loretta Lynn.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about a compliment.
Seriously. If you could only see me blushing. So the album is out. I have it through Kunaki.com, so that's Kunaki. And if you search Meaghan Casey, which is MEAGHAN CASEY, there's a little spelling lesson for you guys. But that's up there. You can always find me. It's MEAG Boston Music on Facebook. And you can always find me online. Shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to send out some CDs and some merch.
The blessed world in which we live in, yes, we are all Googleable. So if there's any specific dates or times or names that you miss, we're all Googleable here, which sounds dirty.
Yeah, I Googled myself last night.
Let's get back down to the music now. We're going to hear a double shot from Electric Frankenstein, one of my favorite bands out of New Jersey. We're going to start it off with Hammered right here on the Tony Jones Show.
get offended?
Dark and Sinister Man, Have It Be, the name of that one, a band that's been in this very studio. We just heard from 30 Silver right here on The Tony Jones Show. Before that, coming out of a double shot of Electric Frankenstein. Last time we chatted, I brought you into Hammered. And then after that, we heard Perfect Crime. You are tuned in to The Tony Jones Show, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter, at Tony Jones in RI. Be sure to go to rifreeradio.org and tonyjones.org. In studio with me, Mike Worm, who is getting some kind feedback. Mike Worm is the man. Caught a pretty rad show with Worm and the Mother Boys the other day. She says that was cool shit.
Who is that?
That was from Jess, who's coming in through our Spreaker chat, which is actually...
Tell her I'm calling her out that she's lying.
Sounds like a babe.
He has
honestly.
no recollection of that. And Meaghan Casey's here, and I want to ask you guys, because I'm just always intrigued about how people get started in music and, you know, just spending all this time and money and effort and this labor of love that we all do. But how did it all start for you guys, respectively?
Oh, I'm going first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Going to shows, saving my money and buying equipment, and starting a band. It's a long, tedious process of hard work.
I think for me, I mean, I started playing violin when I was probably 11. I started playing guitar when I was 13. And I've always been a huge supporter of local music. I actually did a lot of live music photography when I lived in Boston. I was published in the Phoenix a couple times. But
Did you used to go to punk shows too? Didn't you take
I love
pictures of
all
us at some
music.
point?
All music. I mean, it's funny. I was such a punk chick back in high school, and it's funny how I've transitioned into loving old country. Because I mean, you look at artists like Waylon Jennings. I mean, he was punk rock as hell. And
Hank Williams.
Oh, absolutely.
Johnny Cash.
See, now I gotta watch
Willie
myself
Nelson.
because now I want to swear and get really excited, but I'm gonna behave. But absolutely, I mean, I think there's a huge parallel in that music, and I've just always loved live music. I've loved everything about it ever since I can remember. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to be an audience member, a photographer, on stage, all of it. It's my bread and butter.
And, you know, I mean, I don't think a lot of folks realize that even if you're doing, you know, more of a punk rock thing, it is still a mighty large layout financially and a lot of hard work.
That it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, you know, and we always try to...
shows, putting out records.
We always try to support the folks that are spending their summer, this summer, each and every summer, on the road. I just heard from our friends in Michael Graves and the Michael Graves Band is heading back out after it seems like they just wrapped up a tour. You know, we played with them in May, and they're already back out on the road for another 2-month, I think, tour altogether. Full band. It's going to be insane for those guys.
Graves, that's Graves' bread and butter.
Yeah.
I've seen him in about 7 different states.
Yeah, I saw him probably about a number of years ago, but it was over in Bridgewater, and I was doing photos, and that whole group of guys were so nice and welcoming, and I mean, that's what it's all about, is supporting each other and just loving what we do.
And he absolutely blew the roof off of Firehouse 13, full house, and it was a Sunday night, and it had to be about 195 degrees inside of Firehouse 13, and sticky, uncomfortable, but still just nailed it in on an off night show in a venue that's 1,000,000 degrees. I mean, that's a true sign.
I have to say I love that venue. John and Winsong are amazing people. I love every opportunity I get to play there.
Yeah, talk about people who actually, you know, care about what they're doing as opposed to being the typical greedy club owner that's in the back counting their money at the end of the night.
Yeah.
If you go to Firehouse 13, if you get there early enough, you'll see John, the owner, literally scrubbing the toilets and like getting the club ready for the night, like mopping the floor and stuff like that.
They're the best
awesome.
people. Yeah.
Let's hear from another one of our favorite local bands as the Tony Jones Show winds down. We're going to hear from SexCoffee up next. This track is Inside of Me. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Deep inside of me. False conclusions of what I can take. I don't need your affection, it's not your intention. Protect me from the choices I have to face, so I can find a cure. I need something more. So what are you waiting for? Show me who you really are. Deep inside of me, I told you to go, 'cause you're not taking me. And if it's hell you bring and it's closing in, I will fight to live until I'm strong and I'll heal all the wounds.
One of our favorites around here. You just heard from SexCoffee right here on the Tony Jones Show. Inside of Me, the name of that one. And unfortunately, we are just about out of time. So what I'll do is, before we talk about the show one more time, I'm going to open the floor to my in-studio guests. Yes, they will have a chance to address you, my luxurious audience, on just about anything that they want to mention, anything that we missed, any projects coming up, any new releases coming up, how do folks reach you, all that good stuff. So what do you think?
Next Saturday, August 27th, 12 to 5 p.m. at the Middle East upstairs in Cambridge. All ages show. Bring your kids. There'll be Nerf guns there and all types of shit. The Blank 77s, the Parasitics, all the way from New Jersey. Their first show in 6 years in Boston. And the Blank's first show in New England in probably about 3 or 4. And the only one. Also, Opposition Rising from Boston. The Murder from Boston. Destroy and Moose Knuckle will be on the bill. Come up. Day drink with the Blank 77s. They're a cool band to see and an even cooler band to party with.
My name is Meaghan Casey. You can find me on Facebook. That's MEAG Boston Music. I got a show coming up at Aeronaut Brewery in Somerville on September 11th. I'll also be playing tomorrow at the Marshfield Fair, which is really funny to me because I religiously went to all those Battle of the Bands, and I was just invited by John Shea at 95.9 WATD. But you can find me on Facebook. I got my EP Wolf Hour out. Come say hey, shoot me a message. I'd love to meet you guys.
I think at the fair is, something very near and dear to DJ Psycho Eddie and my heart is I think you can get a stick of fried butter there.
Oh my gosh.
Anything covered in
cotton candy.
Sugar.
My heart just skipped a beat. Oh my
I
God.
can keep going on with the fry-related arts, but I'll digress.
My heart's skipping beats right now.
Literally.
So is mine, but the defibrillator's going to kick in any second.
Thank you guys again.
Thank you so much.
Reckless Records on Facebook. Check out my band's Worm, Bad Movies, and the Mother Boys.
And also check out Worm on MySpace.
On MySpace, yep. Punkrockers.com, Reverb Nation, Bandcamp, all that good shit.
Don't forget to check out Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. And, of course, if you go to TonyJones.org or RIFreeRadio.org, click on the contact page and come see us sometime. Of course, we do update our streaming music each and every week. So if you have new music coming out, be sure to get it to us. And
Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 as well.
Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, we need a drummer, and we need a drummer that is willing to leave the house on the regular basis. So if there's any out there listening, be sure to drop me a line at that. We're going to leave here with 2 from the Nymphidels up next, starting off with Anchor. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Cheers.
it is I do not know, but it's bringing me home. That's why we need a little wake up, wake me up. Been sleeping way too long, but time's right and nothing's wrong. Turn it up, turn me on. I'm tired of the jaded love that's always stuck on someone else. I just wanna feel brand new under the sun. So I'm turning all the stations on until we find our favorite song. Then we won't stop, we'll sing along because the night is young. That's why we need a little wake up, wake me up. Been sleeping way too long, but time's right and nothing's wrong. Turn it up and turn me on. Wake up, wake me up. Been sleeping way too long, but time's right and nothing's wrong. Turn it up and turn me on. Wake up and wipe the sleep out from your eyes. I wanna see the dream you hide inside.